You know exactly why you clicked on this video. You've been struggling with loneliness for so long that you've lost all hope. The average modern man today is perhaps the loneliest being. No one to support him, no one to help him up when he falls over, and most importantly, no one to guide him. There's a saying that only women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. As a man, especially with the rise of feminism, if you bring nothing to the table, then consider yourself a lost cause, someone totally denied by society. It truly saddens me to say this, brother, but this is a harsh world. People will only want to be with you if you add something to their life. A father will truly love his son if he can provide for himself. A wife will only truly respect her husband if he can meet and go above her expectations. If you are at the stage where you are alone, then watch this video until the end. Because you are about to learn the 5 exact ways to deal with loneliness as a man and how to overcome it for good. Method number 1. Find an online community that fits you. We often discuss the many negative effects of the internet, but just like any weapon, it can be either used for evil or for good. I've seen many people making fun of other men who claim to have friends on internet platforms. It may come as a surprise, but for someone to be close to you, it is not required to see the other person in person. Listen to me, young brother. The sense of community and brotherhood that you need may just lie behind a screen. This is by no means an excuse to opt out of making real connections, but is the fastest and most practical way to deal with masculine loneliness. I know it can seem somewhat incoherent to say, but just think about the power that's in your hands. There are literally billions of people online at any given moment. All it would take to find some great new friends is a quick Google search and nothing more. You can join a server or a forum for men who are on a self-improvement journey just like you, and grow along with them. The progress and happiness you'd experience with your online brothers would be immense, and the risks are practically non-existent. On top of that, friends made this way don't have to stay behind the screen forever. That's right, you can eventually meet up and share your experiences together. Method number 2. Quit porn. To many of you, this might seem like a sick joke, but one of the biggest causes for loneliness in the first place is porn addiction. In fact, I remember a young man reaching out to me a few years back. He explained how he would always leave school early just to go and bust a nut back home. He was so addicted that the blessings of hanging out with friends or excelling in his studies meant nothing to him. He would rather be alone at home than to build something in the real world. I will say it in as simple words as possible. Porn strips you of any and all social power, period. One of the first steps in stopping the use of pornography, especially if you are addicted, is to simply add a pornography blocker on your device. Blocker X, who is also the kind sponsor of today's video, is by far one of the most complete systems when it comes to quitting pornography. Why? Simple. Because it's much more than a blocker. It allows you to connect with an accountability partner and a whole community of men who are on the same mission to quit the use of pornography once and for all. To date, the Blocker X community has over 100,000 active members who are all trying to overcome pornography. Just think about how good that is. In the real world, nearly everyone is a victim to sexual content, yet they do nothing to solve it. On Blocker X, however, you have a full community of brothers who are actively trying to better themselves to motivate you along the journey. The most common problem with other blockers is that they can be uninstalled easily, but with Blocker X, your accountability buddy will get a notification when you try to uninstall the app. You can also block unlimited websites, apps, and keywords, and also access courses to help you with your journey. I strongly suggest getting Blocker X Premium. You can directly install this app using the link in the pinned comment and description. Method number 3. Go outside into nature. This may sound fake to many of you, but the reason why you're so lonely might be because you're spending 95% of your time indoors, locked away from the rest of society. So many men go their entire life without sunlight or nature, and then they say, "Oh, why do I have a hard time dealing with loneliness?" Listen to me, young brother. The whole concept of staying indoors and being a good little citizen is nothing short of another Matrix trap. In fact, there are a lot of people on TikTok and whatnot that brag about their so-called man caves, where they can spend their whole lives gaming. It's time to step out, literally. As controversial as this may sound to some of you, the more you stay indoors, the more likely you are to be controlled. Think about what an average man does who loves staying indoors. He will likely play video games all day to distract himself, or turn on the news to feed himself the lies of the media. Plus, the more you keep yourself confined to an area, the harder it is to fight your urges. I'm not saying that you need to become Dora the Explorer and be outside 24/7, but keep a healthy balance of meeting real people in the real world, exploring nature to calm your mind, and working outdoors. Nature will automatically push your mind towards positive thoughts, keep you motivated, and overall healthy as the rays of sun and fresh air ground you back into reality. This will in turn make you more likable, turning your old socially locked self into a brand new man who is full of contagious joy. Method number 4. Focus on helping others. We're all aware of the selfish society of today. Everyone from your next door neighbor who has an OnlyFans to your auntie or uncle. Everyone is hooked on their fake status, how many followers they have, how many likes they got on their dog pictures, and whatnot. But think about any wholesome person that society looks up to and wants you to be around. They all have one trait, and that is being selfless. Take Mr. Beast, for example, the biggest individual on YouTube right now. Regardless of what you may think about him, whether you hate him or love him, there is one thing we can all admit. Most of the world loves to watch him. Why? Because of how he helps others. The same is true to your life. It's better to give than to receive. The one who gives attracts others by default. Yes, this might mean that some people will only approach you because of what you have. There may be gold diggers who want a piece of that pie, but along with being selfless, have some masculine common sense. You will be amazed by how many people will want to surround themselves by you just because you have learned the art of helping others. And finally, method number 5, master yourself. Answer this question: who is more attractive, a man struggling to build his business, or a billionaire? Some of you might say, oh, it's the one who's still struggling. But in real life, nearly all of you would approach and be around the billionaire. Remember, the man that has mastered his craft will always be deemed more worthy of respect and attention. The kind of people we want in our lives are always the ones who can help us achieve our best. Start by getting rid of your victim mindset. It's time to grow, brother. With each new mountain you cross, the higher your net worth and social circle will become. Yes, it will be tough, and it may take you months or even years to get to that point. But in the end, when you look back, you will notice how this loneliness was a blessing in disguise to push you forward into success. To see the next best way to level up as a man, check this video here.